Welcome to Talk to Dorks, Season 3, Episode 24. I've got some brand new earbuds, so I look a little bit weird trying to adjust to this, and I can hear everything right in my ear holes. But the first voice I'm going to hear through the earbuds is Kurt. Kurt, it's just me and you from the team tonight, mate. How are you?
I am good, mate. Been a couple since we last caught up, just me and you.
Is it? Hang on, who was the last one What was the one before I was away? Because there's been 2 episodes while I was away.
So we've had Laferde on his lonesome, untamed and unrestrained, and then we've had me and Laferde before that.
Yeah, and then what was the one before that? Episode 21? Oh, I can't remember. It's how long ago? It must have been a wrestling one.
It was Ian.
Of course it was.
Touch of Frost.
There we go. There we go. We are literally getting there, but we've got someone else to join us tonight, and this isn't a wrestling episode. Everyone that listens to this or watches this that is not a wrestling fan, that's been listening to us talk wrestling, is going to cheer.
Everyone who's been hovering over the skip button for the last 30 seconds going, hang on, they're on wrestling again, wait for it,
and they're going to talk wrestling. And I think we've confirmed just before recording that our guest isn't a big wrestling fan, so we can't even dive into that and make that a conversation. But from the YouTube channel, 2.5 Gamers, JC DA SILVA is joining us. JC, welcome to Talks with Dorks, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Honestly, really appreciate it. This is my first podcast, so I hope I can do a good enough job. I've done discussion videos before, but never a proper pod like this. So, yeah, again, thank you, and let's have some fun.
Mate, that's what we're all here for. This is Talks with Dorks. It's exactly what it says on the tin. We are dorks that talk.
Yeah.
That was it. I think me and Kurt both went like that because your video sort of froze a little bit then, and it was like, oh no, just when we said that software is really good, and all of a sudden you've cleared up completely, so it's gone even better.
I mean, I was literally about to say, like, you know, if we're your first podcast, we're like, okay, you know, lofty expectations for us as well, and then on both of our end, the internet went a little bit dodgy. I'm like, oh god, he's going to think we're unprofessional.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully everything's working fine. I'm basically using my streaming setup, so my laptop is wired right now to my router to avoid any chance of lag or anything. So, yeah. And also, I want to apologise if it... Yeah. I also want to apologise if it looks like I'm looking down. My desk and where my webcam is aren't level. So for me to look at you guys, which I feel like I want to look at you guys when I'm talking to you, I have to look this way, but my webcam's this way. Whereas I know that you obviously have your setup where you can still talk to me and look directly at the audience. So I may flip-flop between looking both ways, but yeah.
That's all good. It's all good. As long as we can hear you, that's the most important thing. Where you're looking doesn't matter. But
yeah, 100%.
Obviously, let's talk about how this came about, because one of them things that happens to me quite often, it's a random meeting in a random place that started a conversation. Was me at work. I can't remember how we got onto this conversation, how we ended up going, oh, we both kind of delve in the dork world. Let's connect.
I remember it really well. I have a very good memory with a lot of things, but I remember it quite well. I remember it was basically, so it was last year. I was in a massive partying phase where I was just going out all the time. I became friends with Daisy. I believe you know Daisy because you've probably seen her. Yeah. And it was a Thursday night at Pop World. We went, and I think you was hosting the karaoke. And
Standard,
and I was wearing my Blastoise Pokemon Blue t-shirt, and Daisy sort of nudges me and goes, oh, by the way, Ryan's into gaming, you should go speak to him. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I think I went over to you, and you was between changing songs, or I think the karaoke was going off, and we were just going to start playing music, and everyone was going to get on the dance floor. And you said, oh, I like your top. And I was like, oh, thanks. So, yeah, Daisy said you like gaming. So I was like, oh, let's talk. And then I told you about my channel, and then I followed you guys on Instagram, and I guess, yeah, we just went from there, really.
Literally, as soon as you said the Blastoise top, I was like, now I remember.
It was a Blastoise top and a blue headband. Yeah.
So I always try because I like to, when I'm at work as well, if I can talk geeky stuff, I'll try and figure out, look for people with geeky tops on, or if I'm doing karaoke now, on the screens, I'll always have videos of our wrestling company on. So if anyone asks about it, or if anyone's showing interest, I'll find it in to go and talk to them and just bring it up and talk about geeky stuff, because
Yeah.
That's exactly why I do this. Why I've got a thing called Talks with Dorks is because I like talking dorky shit and having loads of fun. By the way, you can
Yeah.
swear. Um,
Oh yeah, no, I
so
did ask that earlier on Instagram, didn't I? If we were allowed to swear.
yeah, I forgot. I forgot. Yeah, you can swear. It's yeah, we're pretty open what you can and can't do, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's, if you can talk and like just, I mean, look, I mean, I've got a room full of stuff. You've got a room full of stuff. Kurt's got a room full of stuff. This like.
Kurt's got a shelving unit. Like, this is my allotted dorky stuff that I'm allowed in my marriage. But
Oh, it took me a while to get this. This is just a corner. Like, if a lot of, as you know, my whole Power Ranger collection is still at my mum's because I need shelves put up because they are way too delicate and way too fragile, way too expensive to be on arm reach from the kids. So that is definitely not happening to their shelves. But we this is what we do. This is why we do dorky things. Like again, you've got your own channel. And this is where we're gonna find out about 2.5 Gamers and what you guys do, how you came about. What you know, you've got like us, you've got a group of friends that like to do the stuff you do, and you've turned it into a way of not only having fun, but hopefully trying to make something out of it. So
Well, yeah, yeah. This is
JC.
Yeah, no, this is the thing, is you've pretty much hit the nail on the head. I very much believe in, because with social media, and a lot of people are discovering this, or have already discovered it, because I mean it's been around for a very, very, very long time, is that social media gives you the opportunity to turn passion into profit. Obviously, a lot of people will say, and can say, that they just do it for the passion side, and that is very, very much true. But at the same time, when you do start to get the subscribers, and then you get the thing where Google say you can now be monetized, you do think, hang on a minute, if I can make money doing the thing I love, why wouldn't I? Why would I sit there and keep going to work for a company that barely remembers my name, doesn't care about me, and just about lets me afford the things I enjoy, when I can do the things I enjoy, get paid for it, and then use that money to do more of the things I enjoy? Because it almost becomes like recycling, because like if I like making gaming content and then the gaming content allows me to buy more games, then effectively I'll just buy more games and make more gaming content. So it literally just becomes an infinite loop and cycle. And again, that's the beauty of social media, is it's allowed people to do that. Is it a lot harder than it used to be? Definitely, because as I say, it's been around for a long time. I mean, YouTube first opened in 2005? So I believe so.
In my head, so yeah, you're about right.
I thought it was
Well,
before that. To
four
be
or
fair.
five, because I think my girlfriend's birthday is the same day YouTube launched, because I think it was Valentine's Day 2005. So yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Ryan, should we take our pensions out now or later? Or
Well, this is upsetting because I generally thought YouTube was around like late 90s, but clearly I'm wrong. And
It
that's
feels
really
like it,
now,
but no,
really.
it was. I believe it was 2005, yeah, or something like that. I could be wrong, but
That's the thing with like the geeky, like doing, like say, you can make money out of it. And again, growing up in the 90s, most geeks wouldn't be as open as they are now, especially in the UK, because it was a thing to be picked on about. And you would hide it. A lot of people would hide their collections and wouldn't be. But now
Yeah.
it's everyone that's got a collection is showing it online. People, you know, as they say, everyone's got a podcast. Everyone's got this. Everyone's can do that. But you know, I'm not going to sit here and knock. I'll say, oh, there's loads of people doing what we're doing. That's, you know, we're better than that, because we're just, every one of us is exactly the same. Some
Yeah.
people to the top, go higher, make millions out of it, can do it. And yes, we all want to do that, but more than anything, I think the underlying thing with what we do here is we do something we enjoy.
yeah,
Getting to talk to people about things we like talking about, and that's one thing I've always liked is, like I said before, I try and find an in with people to talk about geeky things. And if I notice something, I could be anywhere, and if I see a Superman t-shirt, or like wearing my geeky t-shirts, and if someone points it out, I say, oh, like you've got a Beetlejuice t-shirt, or I like CM Punk t-shirt, wrestling, so I go, yeah, cool, do you want to talk?
yeah. Or in the case of how we met, hey, you've got a Blastoise t-shirt. What are you doing wearing that in a nightclub of all places?
So it happened last week. I was in Spain last week, and it was I try and always, when I'm away, always try and talk to other dads, like, you know, dads that are there as well, just in case you get on and you've got someone to talk to while you're out there.
Yeah.
And I'd said hello to a couple of times, and one day I was stood by the pool walking back, and I see him and his kids walking up, and his kids was holding 3 wrestling figures, and I noticed the Cody Rhodes figure, and I went, Cody Rhodes, and he looked round as if to that. adult knows about wrestling. I've literally stood in my CM Punk wrestling t-shirt, but I was like, cool, I love wrestling. Talk to him, and then it was really weird. Like, then I see him at dinner later on, and I was like, "There's my little Cody Rhodes fan. High five these kids." And I was like, did they get that from you?" To the dad, and he was like, "No, I've never really been into wrestling. It's all from school. They love it, absolutely love it." And then, oh, cool, see you later, lads. And then I see him again at the fun fair later on, and I was talking, and as one of them was walking over towards where I am, his dad called him Roman, and I went, "Roman, like Roman Reigns, really cool." And his dad went, "That's nothing. Guess what his little brother's name is?" I went, "What?" He went, "Rain."
Oh, that's sick. Yeah.
I was like, "And you're not." I was like, "You're not
Are
a
you
wrestling."
sure you're not a wrestling?
Yeah, are you sure?
It weren't until they was at school that kids were saying, "That's really cool. You and your brother are called Roman Reigns." And it was like, I was like, "Yep." See, again, if I hadn't have seen that kid with that toy, I would never have had that conversation. And like, I made the dad. I said to the dad as well, I spoke to, "Look, I run a wrestling company. Give me a message. Come down, see us, and that." And now I've got a reason to message you and go, "You don't get to believe this. I've just told the story on my podcast." What does that do? Gets that geezer to go and subscribe to this podcast and have a little listen, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because mentioned that conversation, because that's what we're doing. We're always talking about the stuff we love, but we're always selling. And that goes into what you're doing with yourself now. You've got this game, like I said, impressive. You know, you're at over 5.8k, I think it was, or something. I looked, or 5.6.
5.08. So yeah, I wish it was 5.8 because that would be 5,800. But I think it's floating around 5.08. So I think we have 5,080. Yeah, it's
That's
not being
still 4,790 more than us.
But you know what? It's crazy because if I'd say 10 years ago that would have been a big deal, but again nowadays, and not to sit here and say that again the market's oversaturated, because as you rightly said, if everyone wants to do it and if everyone can do it and if you love doing it, that's the key thing. If you enjoy doing it, then keep doing it. Whether you've got 200, 300, 5,000, a million, that doesn't matter. If you enjoy doing it, by all means do it. But even us with 5k, a lot of the time I still only feel like we only have a couple hundred, and again that's because I think now what is 5k feels like a couple hundred, and it's only really the ones that have the millions or the hundreds of thousands that really sort of get looked at like that. Like sometimes even she'll say to me, my girlfriend, when I'm sitting there, she'll go, "Oh, you're so famous," and I'm like, "No, I'm not." And she's like, "Well, you've got 5k, I don't have that, and there are loads of other people that don't have that." And I'm like, "Yeah, but we're not famous, like it's 5k." But again, 10 years ago someone would have been like, "Oh my god, it's 5k," like, do you know what I mean? So
But you should see it in, you're seeing it as glass half empty. See it as glass half full, that 5,000 people know about your channel.
yeah.
You've got 5,000 people. That's better than 5 people. I mean, again, even if you've only got 5 people, if then 5 people are interactive with you, you're doing a fucking great job, because you're doing something that 5 people like, no matter what the number is.
Yeah.
So to have 5,000, absolutely amazing.
That's 5,000 people who have not just stumbled across you and watched your stuff. That's 5,000 people who consistently watch your stuff. That's 5,000 people who've clicked that subscribe button because they like you enough. That's 5,000 people who get a notification every time you post a video.
Yeah,
we're at 230 subscribers, and I think our subscribers are about ready to give up on us, as much as the batteries in that man battery are about to give up.
But and again, like I say, you take everything you can, because like it's a double-edged sword from what we were saying earlier on. Is that on the one hand, I think if you are passionate enough about it, and especially if you know a thing or two about editing, you can do this, and you can make some good content, and you can talk about stuff that you're passionate about. You can make stuff you're passionate about. The double-edged sword of that is that, yes, it's a bit of a saturated market, but also, even without that, like, you are, especially on YouTube and the like, you are very much a slave to the algorithm sometimes as well. Like, there are people who bust their arses to make amazing content, and just the recommendations are not there, the algorithm's not in their favour. Simultaneously, there's someone who will make something just as good, if not actually slightly worse, and get lucky, and it blows up, and they go viral and all of that. But, I never want to trivialise either side of it. So, but that's me. Like, you've got 5,000 people who you are appointment viewing for them.
Yeah,
that can never be understated.
It's again, gaming can be like, again, I stream gaming, but I'm not like we are. This is one of the reasons thought it was a great idea for you to come and talk. So I wanted you to talk to our gaming guys, Woody and Damo, who both haven't turned up tonight.
So you got the wrestling guys.
Yeah. So your mate that talks wrestling, is he free or?
He's probably in bed right now, but no, 100%. Next time, actually, I'll let him know as well. I'm actually meant to be meeting up with him tomorrow to not only give him our energy drink sponsor, which is actually sitting behind me, but we're meant to be recording some videos tomorrow. He would love to talk wrestling, so I definitely think you guys should get him on an episode.
Right. Okay. So see what I said there. Again, you just said something. Did you pick up like our energy drink sponsor?
Yeah.
You've got a sponsorship with an energy drink. You're doing okay with that. Like that's what you got. Hang on, you got an energy drink sponsor, and we're over here like. I mean, I've just paid £4 for a Costa coffee.
I wish I mean...
Costa, if you want to give them for free.
Yeah, that's it. I was going to say, Costa, give these guys a sponsorship. Come on. Let's make it happen.
Every episode, Ryan's like...
I might have to start going for Barry's coffee shop round the corner, see if he'll sponsor me. Might be able to get a freebie out of him. But again, like, what was it? So we're looking at delving into gaming. I want this for me. Talk to Dorks started as an audio podcast with two guys, and again, I tell this to every guest we come on. It started with me and my mate Ashley, who I've known him since I was 7 years old. For most of our life, we've always had chats and phone calls, and he's the one that got me into wrestling. So we've always had these phone calls where we'd spend hour or 2 hours on the phone just nerding out. And when podcasting and lockdown happened, I kept saying to him, dude, like, we could do this. We could do a podcast. Like, we're quite funny. Nobody else might find us funny, but we do. So that might emulate to people. And it just stemmed into this. Then it grew into, let's bring other guys in and do this and do that. Now we've literally got a wrestling company. And now I've got Woody and Damo wanting to take more control of gaming side of things. They're streaming, they're going to review games, they're going to chat to guys like yourself. So even though obviously they're not here tonight, I'll get them to interact with you, talk with you. So if you've got any advice you can give them as such, or
I'd love to help out. Yeah,
if you can stream, if you're free to stream with them at some point, they do link up. That's what this.
Yes,
again,
please. Yes, please.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
And this is another thing I love as well. It's the community building part of it as well. It's one thing to make content and have people watch, but when you get to interact, it's actually because what you were saying earlier, the story you shared about you being on holiday, there's the famous saying, stranger, or is it, how does it go? Strangers are the friends you haven't met yet. Well, now I think if you translate that into what's going on with social media, it's almost as if strangers are the followers you haven't met yet. And that what you said earlier about you speaking to that dad, and now you can share this story on the pod, and then you can send that to him and go, by the way, mate, gave you a shout out on my pod, and he's going to watch that. And then if he likes that, he's going to subscribe. And then if he subscribes, he might then show his friends and go, look, I met this guy on holiday. He's now mentioning me on his video. And then they're going to share it with their friends, go, oh, look, thingy got shared on this. And it just ends up everywhere. And again, it becomes more strangers becoming followers, and again the hope is also becoming friends, because again there's no harm in making loads of friends. I think having friendship and community and brotherhood and sister, all of it, just having a big community is a very, very powerful thing, and to be honest, it's something I think that we desperately need these days. And I love it. I love the interaction side of it. I want to do more podcasts. I want to do more streams with other creators, other people, anyone who's just passionate and shares an interest in what we're interested in. And even if there's a new interest, because I'm always up for trying new things. If someone says to me, oh, well, JC, look, I'm starting a little channel, but I want to try, I don't know, cooking. I'll be like, look, I can't cook, but if we look silly on camera and it's funny and we find it funny.
If it's content.
It's content. Yeah, exactly. It's content. So it's always worth a shot. And that's the brilliant side of social media. Because it's right in saying it's a double-edged sword, because I feel like, and we'll get more into this when I talk about some of the other things I'm working on, but there's a double-edged sword to everything. And I feel like since I've always had this thought, and I just want to disclaim to everyone that what I'm saying is my opinion, and obviously you can challenge it in a civilized manner. We can talk about it in a civilized manner.
Okay, that's.
But I feel that since 2020, since COVID, two things have happened. You have the people that took opportunity of it, being indoors, getting a microphone, making podcasts, making content, to become more social. But then you've got the other side where it's made people less social. And now as the world tries to go back to normal, and I use air quotes there, again, you've got the people who, again, are trying to bring people together, and then you've also got the people who they'll sit there and they'll watch, but then in real life, you can't speak to them. They're literally... and then they're all intimidated and shy. But there's nothing wrong with those people. But again, it's like the whole point of social media, was it not to make communication easier? Was it not to bring people together? And again, that's what makes stuff like this so good. But then there's also the other side of it where it tears people apart, and I think that's wrong. But again, that goes into other things that I'm working on.
It's yeah, I know what you mean. I see how much the world has changed. When lockdown happened, my job was the first one gone. DJing, clubbing, dancing, partying was the first thing gone.
Yeah.
It was also the last thing to come back. So everyone was excited. Everyone couldn't wait to go back out clubbing. And I've seen it when it lifted, mate, the streets were flooded. Places were busy.
Yeah.
And since then, there was this generation of 18-year-olds that turned 18 between 20 and 2021. They didn't get to go clubbing at 18.
Yeah.
So they didn't need it. They did other things.
Yeah.
And you say they did stuff like this, or they shut themselves off more than they ever have. And the nightlife industry's gone. I think it's something like there was 1,500 clubs in the UK 4 years ago. Now there's less than 500.
Yeah.
I mean,
And still rapidly shrinking.
Case in point,
Yeah.
like, I live in Southend, and I think, like, if you just look in the last 5 or so years in Southend, I mean, I'm gonna name drop some names that are only gonna mean something to any of our viewers and listeners in Essex right now, but I'm gonna be selfish for a moment. Like, we had Talk, or for Ryan's generation, Talk of the South.
Fuck you, it was Talk.
But we had Talk, we had Chameleon, we had Element, we had
Zinc.
we had Zinc, we had Dick Devines, which became Pop World. We had Mayhem, which became Moo Moo's, which is now, I think, also in danger of shutting down. Don't quote me on that.
Isn't it already gone? I swear, it shut in July. Yeah.
Oh, blimey,
Yeah.
already gone.
Yeah.
And now we have, like, one, I think.
Yeah, just Pop World.
Yeah.
The same Pop World where I met Ryan. Yeah.
Literally. And then again, you look at Essex as a whole. Like the fact that Pop World Chelmsford, like Marky T, one of the DJs I work with at Pop World Chelmsford, he's been on radio too because they're talking about like how big of a thing that Pop World Chelmsford closed because it was a huge part. It was the first Pop World in Essex. It made a mark. We all worked there. We did this like amazing things there, and in less than 7 years, that place is now gone. The walk about next to it, they're becoming flats because the whole industry is just on its backside, and people are going out, but they're not going out nowhere. Like, again, before I was 18, I was going out clubbing, but when I was 18, because I was allowed to now go out and I had my ID, I was going out any day that ended in a Y. Do the maths, all ended in Y.
Yeah.
Yesterday, today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all of them, I was out. My mum used to go to me, Ryan, where are you going on a Tuesday? I'm like, it's LGBT night in Romford, but you're not LGBT. I know, but I'm friendly. I'm going there for a beer.
Yeah.
I'm going there for a beer. I like it. I have no problem with anybody expressing who they want to be, and it means I can go out and drink. I'm going out partying because I wanted to be out. I didn't want to miss beer. I didn't again, even like if I was in, for example, Romford and there's 10 bars, I wanted to be in every bar at the same time because didn't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
When I worked abroad, I was the same. There was 100 bars in each strip, like in Zante and that. I wanted to be in every one of them at the same time. I'd be bouncing down all the bars because I wanted to see what was going on because I liked going out and enjoying it, but there's just a love lost. And yes, in some sense, things like, that I do enjoy. Gaming is now more popular with people because they're not going out as much, or people are watching more movies, TV shows, or you're getting movies at home. Like, you're not having to wait 8 months for Superman after it's been at the cinemas. It's literally already on your Sky now, or your Prime,
or
wherever
Prime,
you want to get it from. Yeah, it's there to get it, but at the same time, like, it seems like certain things like that have got too easy. And it's
That
too
makes
easy
sense.
to
I think-
not go out.
I think gaming streaming, actually, I think a real thing to be said about the popularity of gaming streaming at the moment is a double whammy of, number one, for the people who, people who work a schedule, which means they can't devote too much time to playing the games that they love and enjoy anymore. Especially like long play games and like storyline driven games or games that you have to grind and things like that. Like, there's a lot of people who can't devote as much time to that anymore. So being able to at least live like vicariously through someone who's streaming it and they get to see that game played that way. But also, I think as well, especially with, dear God, I mean, the amount that a video game costs nowadays is getting ridiculous. JC, I see a Nintendo Switch 2 over your shoulder, mate. Like, I know how much Nintendo wanted to charge for their new games.
I still need to record my Switch 2 review, and trust me when I say this, and I'm saying this also to the people at home when that eventually comes out, price is going to be a massive talking point when it comes to how annoyed I am with Nintendo about the Switch 2, because for the money they're asking for, it's not worth it, and this is coming from a Nintendo fan. But before I get set off, we'll go back to what you were saying.
And that's what I mean, though. Like, I can't afford to willy-nilly drop 80 quid on a game. Like, I have to be pretty certain it's going to be a game that I'm going to get some enjoyment out of and some decent hours from. So, like, I will watch, like, Let's Plays of certain games, like, either because it's a game that I know I'm not going to drop 80 quid on, but I'm still interested in seeing what it's about, or finding out if I want to spend 80 quid on it. And if I watch, like, a couple of episodes of a Let's Play, see the first couple of hours of gameplay and go, do you know what? I could get my teeth stuck into this.
Yeah.
Maybe I can justify, maybe not telling the wife about the 80 quid that I'm about to spend. But
Next time you buy a game, I'm literally going to message your missus.
mate, she's next door. She definitely just heard me say that. She's like, you're not.
Yeah, all the funds in your bank are now being moved to hers. Straight
So
up.
the wallet's already locked up.
But that's me.
Yeah,
I think gaming streaming, I think especially, is definitely an industry that has become more popular with, weirdly, like, as less accessible as gaming has become for certain people, the more gaming streaming is becoming the way they're getting that fix.
It's not only that as well, it's also mobile gaming has increased, because as you rightly said, where typical console gaming has become so expensive, I think there was a survey that was done that said a majority of gamers now are moving over to their phones because it's free, and who doesn't have a phone? And especially who doesn't have a phone that can run games. Literally just the other day, my girlfriend's dad's playing Destiny on her phone. Like, yeah.
So it's cut me by the way, JC. On the subject of phones, mine just buzzed with 2 messages saying, "Yes, I hear everything."
Like, to be fair, they probably do. They probably do.
Oh no, that's my wife on the other side. Love you. I'm not spending 80 quid on Nintendo.
He's lying. He's going to buy Mario Kart World for 80 quid.
Texting her. Texting her.
He said he wants a Switch 2. He saw mine. Now he wants one.
I'm literally going to take a bit of post now. I can't believe we just convinced Kurt to buy a Switch 2 20 minutes into the podcast.
I've got a vendetta against the Switch 2 myself anyway, because I finally managed to justify buying a Nintendo Switch for myself, because I've been umming and ahhing for ages about it, and I bought my Nintendo Switch finally, and I swear, like, less than a month later they announced the Switch 2. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
No, I hate when that happens.
We've had the what's the one like the light? Is it the light? The Switch Lite, the grey one? It's not got the removable controls.
Yeah,
is it the Switch Lite?
There's 2 revisions of the original Switch. So you've got the light. The light's the small one that can't be docked to a TV. Then you've got the OLED, which had the better screen. Yeah.
We got the light. We bought like Pokemon for it and stuff like that. My stepson barely played with it. Then he wanted a normal one so we could get Mario Kart and we could attach it to the TV and that. We played it over Christmas and it's been in a drawer ever since. Like, I ain't buying no Switch 2. I've got 2 Switches, so I might as well have a Switch 2, and we ain't using them. I mean, I spent the most time on it because we got Need for Speed Underground free with it. Or Need for Speed Underground, the one that's like Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels game.
Hot Wheels Unleashed.
That was it, and because it came with the free Batman content, I was like, oh whole body.
Yeah.
I I'm gonna go drive me some Hot Wheel Batmobiles and have fun.
Yeah, I mean the thing that had me really umming and ahhing about the Switch 2 for the longest time, sorry, the original Switch for the longest time, is, and I think Nintendo for the last few generations of their consoles has been quite notorious for this, is games that were made by Nintendo for Nintendo, brilliant, no notes. Third-party games that were made by independent studios for multiple consoles, the Nintendo version is always the more inferior version, and sometimes fundamentally broken, like unplayable, and that's what put me off for the longest time buying an original Switch, because I'm like, well, yeah, there's certain Nintendo games that I want to play. I'm a Smash Brothers fan, I'm a Mario Kart fan, I'm a Pokemon fan.
Great choices.
At the risk of getting some heat here, I'm not a Zelda fan. Don't come for me. But yeah, there were certain Nintendo games that I really wanted to play. But then I was like, can I justify buying this console for just a small handful of games when near enough anything third party, I'd have to do research to figure out whether it was a good port or not.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, because I understand the Switch 2 is like notably more powerful than the original Switch. I am hoping that you know, it's not going to be on par with like a PS5 or a Xbox, for example, but I'm hoping it at least solves some of the problems that I've had with like borderline unplayable or noticeable downgrades on third-party ports.
Yeah, and this is something that I can touch on, having a Switch 2, in the sense of I will admit it fixes a lot of the problems that the Switch 1 had in terms of power. The only problem is, and you were very, very correct in what you said, is that Nintendo have been behind for years. I would say they've been behind since the Wii. Because the problem that Nintendo...
I'll go one further. GameCube's had its own issues.
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes with GameCube, I feel like some of their third-party games ran okay. They still... Because if anything, I think... In that generation, the PS2 was actually the weakest one. But the only reason why the PS2 really excelled was because I think it was the cheapest, and also you could justify getting it because it was also a DVD player. I think GameCube and Xbox were the powerful ones, but once again, I think Nintendo was always associated as being the kiddie company, and Xbox really came out swinging because they had Halo, and they were the first ones to do proper online and things like that. So that's definitely what done it there. I think the GameCube did have a level of power in that generation, but then once Nintendo pivoted towards, we're going to make gaming for everyone. Let's get mum, nan, granddad all holding controllers, pretending to bowl, pretending to go. Once Nintendo leaned into gimmicks, they stopped thinking about power. And that's why I say, for me, and again, anyone can disagree with me, I think from the Wii onwards, Nintendo have been behind in terms of power.
I'm glad that you said about the gimmicks, admittedly, because like I think that is right. Like even the GameCube was a bit gimmicky because like it was one of the only consoles that came with a handle. You could actually carry it like a lunchbox.
Yeah.
And obviously the Wii, it was the family console. It was the interactive console. I'm glad you said that. Let's have Nan holding the controllers. Because let's be honest, the biggest problem with the Wii is the fact that people could not seem to keep hold of the controllers.
Yeah.
Let's break everyone's TVs.
Yeah, that's it.
And let's not talk about the Wii U. There's not enough time in the day for that.
I think like, you're right. Like, with when it comes to like that generation, when the PS1 come out, that was like I was there for it. You guys probably weren't old enough to be there for it, but it was.
Ryan, I'm going to say very quickly, mate, just because I need to. I was born the year that the PS1 came out.
What year was it again? Was it 98? Or was it earlier?
97.
94.
Oh, no, so I was, I wasn't. The thing is, a lot of older consoles I wouldn't have been around for. Yeah, a lot of consoles I wouldn't have been around for, but I have a really deep appreciation for the classics because I still hold this sentiment now. I think that the classics are better. Like, I think modern gaming is...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, the classics are just so much better.
1994 there was a PS1.
1994 was the first PS1.
Well, I couldn't afford one until 1997. All right.
I think you're right though. I think like retro gaming has like got such love for it at the moment. So to the extent that only a couple of years ago they're releasing like the all-in-one PS1 and the all-in-one Super Nintendo that came like pre-packaged with some of the classic games.
Yeah, the classic minis.
Play some of those games and notice that some of them absolutely do not hold up. But
But that's what I was saying. Like when PS1 come along, like when Sony come out with this new console, everything else went. Basically, Sony said, "Hold my beer and watch us do gaming," and everything else, Sega just they dissolved. And like Sega, trust me, I lived through the Sonic era. Like Sega was like the thing, like having a Mega Drive. Nintendo obviously was like, you had Atari, but Nintendo come along with this new fond of it. I've literally, I say new fond, I've got it here, sitting here, the lift up flat, push it in. It was like, oh my God, it was like Space Age, pushing the game in and pushing it down and closing the lid. The Mega Drive come along, there was the Master System and then the Mega Drive. Then it was kind of like everything's going to move to disc. Sega tried it with the Sega Saturn, but nobody wanted to spend another 300 quid to have an attachment for their fucking Mega Drive. So PlayStation come along, and then, you know, N64 stayed with consoles, and they were, because they had the gimmick of 4 players and not having to have an adapter, you could play that soul. That's what people went, oh, actually, I might get one of them N64s. But most people went towards the PlayStation, and then PlayStation capitalised on it in the right time, because when PS1s were still selling, they went, have a 2.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
everyone else went, right.
The funny thing with the Nintendo 64 was, they released a console where, like, you can play it 4-player. Like, once again, it's the proper, almost family console again, that you can have 4 people playing at once without any adapters. The only problem was they kind of torpedoed that a little bit by making a controller that you needed 4 people to hold.
I hate the
N64 controller is a beast.
Yeah, it's unique.
I always struggled with it,
but I hate it.
That controller was created by someone saying, "Hold my beer." Like,
there
were 5 beers in at the time.
Especially, like, again, the jump from the, I haven't got one to hand, but the Nintendo or the Mega Drive controller, where you had up, down, left, right, A, B, C, and a start button. That was it. The Nintendo was basically the same. You had 2 buttons, a start button, and an up, down, left, right. Then all of a sudden, Nintendo come along and went, right, add 55 new buttons. You need, and then PlayStation.
What the fuck is Z?
I mean, I don't even know if you remember when PlayStation first came out, the controllers didn't even have the analog.
The first PS1 controller. The first PS1 controller was not the DualShock. The DualShock came later.
Yeah, but also on behalf of everyone who's played multiple consoles, one thing I really want to, and I'm not the first person to say this, but one thing I really want to plead with console developers worldwide about, keep the gaming wars, keep the console wars going as much as you want, but can we please all universally agree on where the X button is?
Oh my God.
Press X.
You're playing cross.
5 locations that could be.
Yeah, when you're playing cross-gen with your mates, like, press X, press X. I'm fucking pressing X, and
why are you jumping? Yeah, PlayStation man playing against an Xbox man, and God forbid you bring the Switch into the equation, which now has the same button layout as the other 2, but the X is once again in a different location.
Yeah.
Even weirder if you separate the Switch. You switch it, you can have it to the side and have it as buttons. The X becomes the directions. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake, why am I doing this? You try to just go up and down, left, right. That's what I want to do. But again, the gaming has just like, it's such a multi-generational thing that you've seen it go from like what was that game? Was it Battleships? Was like one of the first, not Battleships.
Pong, I think, was one of the first.
Pong, that was it. It's gone from that to what you now get. Like, I love going back and playing GTA 1 because how that game went. I love it because that little character, when you hear him go, that's how they talk.
Right, that's getting clipped. That's the preview for this episode now. Just Ryan go
like a turkey. Mimi.
Zero context. That's the clip. That's the teaser.
You make me forget, but like, you go play that game, and because again, that game was a phenomenon, and it was you look how bad it is, it was a phenomenon, and then GTA. I've just named this episode "Hold My Beer," right? Because GTA then went. We've done GTA London, we've done GTA 2. Hold our beer. watch us up this now to a GTA 3 and watch what we're about to do in this game. And now, yes, look at the memes now. We've waited so long for GTA 6. Literally, children have been born and turned 18 in that time.
Yeah, which is crazy.
But we all know that when it comes, the reason they're holding back is because they make these leaps forward that every other gaming company out there goes, fuck me, we need to copy that.
That's what it is. Yeah, like GTA 5 was like the peak of like gaming technology at the time. And they know they need to be on par, not with GTA 5, they need to be on par with what GTA 5 represented at the time. Yeah, and I actually know a guy who works for Rockstar, and I keep purely because I know it pisses him off. I keep needling him about updates on GTA. Come on, mate. But like, he'll tell you as much as anyone else. Like if you know a single thing about game development, you would understand why it has taken 10 years.
Yeah,
it's longer than that. I mean, I know I had it in 2013. I had it in
2012. I think it dropped originally.
Yeah,
oh, what, GTA 5, yeah. Yeah, I remember first playing it on PS3, and where it is now versus how it was back then. Like, it's basically literally become like a life slash... Well, I mean, they're now classed as, I think they're now classed as crime sim games now. Yeah. But ultimately as well, it's basically billionaire simulator. And again, I think that resonates with a lot of people because you can live the dream life that you want to live in GTA. And I agree with what you're saying, that they don't want 6 to be on par with 5. You're 100% on the money. They want it to be on par with what 5 represents, which is, again, how can we go even crazier, more realistic, more detail? It's great. I've seen videos on Instagram where people zoom in on the trailer going, look at the way the water hits the pier, and it's so realistic, and it's like, and that little attention to detail, that's what people go nuts for. And if we love that as the community who are buying it, then the developers who are making it are probably losing hair and stressed up to their eyes and ears, and of course no one wants a repeat of what happened with Cyberpunk, so they're again tapping away at it, being like, this needs to be perfect, and it's taken them a very long time.
They're probably thinking this game's got to last, because if we're going to take another big leap forward, this game's got to last at least 15 years, because if we're gonna one up this fucking game, we're gonna need even longer time to figure out what we're gonna do with it. I'm sure the next one after this, it'll be like a full body experience where you've got everything on you. Like you can go do drugs and feel like it's like doing drugs without doing drugs, or you can go take a bitch down to a corner of your car.
GTA 7, you buy it from a store, and then the police chase you home.
And you get to keep it if you manage to get home without getting caught. No, honestly, do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if GTA 7 is basically becomes Ready Player One, the film. I don't know if you have seen that film, but I feel like that's where it's going, especially with how VR headsets are coming about as well, and you've got things like Meta, things like that. It wouldn't surprise me if, GTA 7, if we're even alive to see it, because it'll probably take them decades to do it, and they'll probably remaster GTA 6 3 times, so we'll get... I reckon we'll live to see GTA 6, then we'll get a remaster of GTA 6, then we'll get a remaster of GTA 6 again, then when we're on our deathbeds, GTA 7 will come out.
It'll be that long, it won't even be able to be called Grand Theft Auto anymore, it'll be Grand Theft Starship.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Just nick someone's enterprise.
Yeah, and it will come with a VR headset and a bodysuit, and you could genuinely put the headset on, lay there, and you can feel everything in the game, and you can actually live the experience.
So here's a funny story for you. Do you remember the midnight launches of games?
Yeah.
Oh, I miss midnight launches.
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, I'll never forget this. I got it from Game in Basildon, so the one that was down by the big Costa outside, opposite the fountain. The game was down there back then. That's how long ago this was. That's been gone for a long time. Yeah,
there used to be 2 games. The one you're talking about, and then the one indoors.
Indoors, and then they got rid of both of them and put it in Sports Direct. You have to buy a football shirt just to get the game.
Yeah.
So... me and my mate had gone down. This was like, I must have been 18, 19 when that come out, and we'd gone down, booked the midnight launch. We went down, queued up. There was a queue going down, and everyone's queuing up, waiting for them to open at midnight. 2 minutes to midnight, all of a sudden, vroom, he's revving, and his fucking Ferrari pulls through Basildon town, pulls right up outside the fucking shop, and this big brash geezer gets out, gold chains and that, walks straight past everybody in the queue, goes up, goes, right, I want my fucking game. And everyone's like, you've got a queue. He's like, I ain't fucking queuing. Like, made a big fuss. They sorted his game out. By the time he walked back to his car, there was 2 coppers stood there. What had turned out is that he worked for some dealership and they'd got this Ferrari and he borrowed it from work without telling anybody. Decided to show up to this gaming thing. So you can imagine the next day in the newspaper, because he got nicked because he hadn't told anybody he was taking the car, so it was classed as theft. The next day in the Echo, there was a headline of something like GTA launch becomes real life GTA or something like that.
Even the queue thinking that's a publicity stunt.
Yeah, like honestly, we all thought, part of us was all thinking it was, but it generally was like this geezer just wrote his own fucking checks and just cashed them in.
Committed Grand Theft Auto to get Grand Theft Auto. That's crazy.
Yeah. So ended up spending the night in the cell. So while all of us went home and didn't have to worry about 15 hours of uploading the game, we went home, plugged that game in, and started playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas while talking about this prick that turned up in his Ferrari. This geezer spent the night in the cell.
He's in jail going, completed it, mate.
I'll never forget that. It was just going home and texting our mates like, "Did you go to the launch? You ain't gonna fucking believe what's happened. I ain't gonna fucking believe." This is where, to edit this episode, I'm gonna have to spend hours searching the Echo website for this clip, this article from years ago.
Oh, well, yeah, we need to. If we can find this, we will put it up on the screen.
I want to see this. Actually, I really want to see this as well.
This is where I found out it's just a dream, never happened. I mean, you think, let's have a look. I never got it. GTA, I'm fucking data. GTA San Andreas, when did that come out? So I'll tell you how
2004.
Exactly how old I was. So I would have been 18. 18. It was, yeah. How quickly did you find that out?
I knew it. I sometimes worry what space would be in my brain if I just got rid of all the pointless shit I know. But
Absolutely. Right. So, before we delve into all this gaming stuff, we've alluded a few times, JC, to the fact that you've got other stuff going on other than the gaming.
Yeah.
You've got yourself a new business that started a month ago, you said.
Yeah.
Okay, the floor is yours. Tell us. I've since noticing that, is what we're about to talk to you wearing something to do with that?
Yes, I am. So obviously, earlier I did go like this when I said working on stuff. The shirt I'm wearing right now is from my... The shirt I'm wearing right now is from my clothing brand that I'm trying to launch. I did literally only start a month ago. I've only got 26 designs on the store at the minute, but I do have a bunch more sitting in a folder that I need to slowly release over time. But yeah, I'm trying to make my own clothing brand as a bit of a statement, as a bit of a point, and also again it's another passion that I think I could turn into profit, because it's taking something that I'm passionate about, making it wearable, and just hopefully getting people to wear it, enjoy it, and I've been enjoying it. Like I say, I got this. This is one of my designs based on. Well, okay, so this is actually the funny thing. I'm sure you guys know about the flag thing that's going on, right?
This is why when you went like that earlier, I was like, I didn't actually ask him what his clothing brand's about. This could be about to get really political.
It's not supposed to be, but it kind of has been. So I will admit, I don't like to get too political either. Like I say, I'm a gaming nerd. Like, I just want to play my video games and enjoy my time. But the way the world is going, it's like,
hope we don't get nuked while you're playing.
Basically, I dread to think that would happen. Yeah, but otherwise, then we'll end up in Fallout. But no, like it started off quite comical. And then it slowly turned political when I saw things that were going on. So now this is where I lean into this story. So this design right here, I shit you not. And again, whether people believe me or not, that's entirely their opinion. That's fine. I came up with this design before the flag thing happened. And then the flag thing happened. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, how did this, like, I remember getting home from work. I was working on the weekend, and on the weekends I have to do 12 hours, so I was doing 4 till 4. I published this design at around 3:30. I get home at 4:15, message my girlfriend going, hey, look at my new shirt design, sent her a link. Then she goes, look at this TikTok. And she sent me a video where literally people spray painting roundabouts, hanging flags, the hashtag Operation Raise the Flag. I almost could have dropped my phone. I was like, what the hell? I was like, literally, what is going on? I did not mean for this to happen. Like, but again, whether people think that or not.
Now we know where it all come from.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
But buy my t-shirts.
but please buy them. 50% off at the moment. But yeah, no, I started this.
I will absolutely capitalise on it.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Might as well. Yeah. It's got nothing to lose. If no one, the thing is, so with this brand, all the designs are made to order. So it's a very easy model. Where basically, if no one buys anything, it's not like I'm sitting on inventory losing money. Where they're made to order, what happens is when an order goes through, I then basically pay for it to get created, and then it gets shipped to the customer, and then I then receive. So it's a very simple model. If no one buys anything, I don't lose anything. But if people do buy something, then I hope to gain something, and they gain something. Because again, I want people to enjoy it, and it's obviously I'm not doing it for any sort of extreme political reason, but it's slowly turned into that over time by accident, but now I actually kind of find it quite funny. And as you say, like, I didn't mean to capitalise on it, but there is a market now to capitalise on. And again, it's something that I'm quite passionate about, in the sense of that, yeah.
As long as you're not the one standing there going, like, this belief and that belief.
No.
Right?
Yeah, no. I would never force my beliefs onto anyone, like I say, and I made that disclaimer earlier. Everything I'm saying is my opinion. You're welcome to challenge it in a civilised manner, because again, I know what the internet's like. I know people can sit there and say, you're a dick, go die, we hate you, you're trying to say that. No, I'm saying, this is what I think. You're welcome to think what you think. We can either meet in the middle and have a discussion about it, or, again, if you want to go and do what you want to do, leave those sorts of comments, you're entirely welcome to waste your time doing that, because I just see that as a waste of time. Like, I don't have time for these negative comments. I have time for people who want to, again, jump on a podcast, let's get some microphones, let's talk. That's fine, I've got time for that. I don't have time for, you're full of shit, here's a negative comment, I'm going to make 5 accounts and dislike you on all of them. Nah, like, come on.
I was about to say, call this a hunch. You're not on Twitter, are you?
I have Twitter. I don't use it anymore. I stopped using Twitter in about 2016, and then it's funny because a lot of people say to me about going back on there, and I'm like, no, if anything, if it was bad back then, it's even worse now. I'd never go back onto Twitter. And now there's this alternative one that everyone's going on, Blue Sky, and on my streams, everyone's going to me, JC, you need to get Blue Sky. It's basically the new Twitter. I'm like, yeah, but Twitter's shit. Why would I want to go from? You're basically saying, JC, there was shit, but now there's diarrhea. Do you want to jump on the diarrhea? And it's like, no, I don't want to do that. No. And plus, I'm already so busy with Instagram as well, so.
Threads was like basically trying to be another Twitter, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, what even is that about? Why do we have threads? Why is it? You know what you were saying about when something comes out, everyone wants to copy it. So when GTA 6 comes out, everyone's going to want to copy it. Why do social medias all want to copy each other? Like, it just you had Snapchat. And now WhatsApp, you can add stories. And it's like, why? If I want to do that, I'll just use Snapchat. And then you've got Twitter, but then Instagram decide to bring out threads. But again, isn't Twitter wasn't that all just a copy of Facebook? And again, they all just jump on this bandwagon. And it's like, again, and once again, that's also kind of, again, like why people, if people want to sit there and say, oh, but you're jumping on a bandwagon because you're releasing flag shirts when the flag thing's happening. Once again, I just want to say, honest truth. Release this design before that happened, then this started to happen. But if there is a market for it, might as well. Might as well.
Right, exactly that. Because again, you're not the one that's like. Everyone wants to make a buck, and if you can, again, make a little bit of money out of it, like people can take that T-shirt how they want to take it.
Yeah. It's just
for
an
them,
England
but if
flag
it's something-
T-shirt. It's just an England flag T-shirt. You can wear it at the football to support England during the World Cup. You can wear it because you like England as a country, or you can wear it because of the flag fiasco going on. That was my mindset when I created the design. I mean, the question on the back of the shirt, if anything, can be taken a certain way. Oh, sorry. Just being told in the background that I'm talking too loud. It's because I get so passionate. Yeah, no, you can take it a certain way, but I don't see it that way, and I would never try and force my beliefs onto anyone. Again, believe what you want to believe. If you want to buy this shirt because it's a funny shirt of a flag coming out of a washing machine, buy it for that reason. But if you want to buy it because you're passionate about England as a whole, you think that what's going on with the flag situation is wrong or is right, depending on, again, which side you lean on, you're entirely welcome to do that. I'm just here trying to sell a t-shirt. I ain't here trying to start a revolution. You know, I'm not going to sit here and...
So, a good way to put an example, if you've never seen it, is the Elvis movie that came out a couple of years ago with Austin Butler as Elvis.
I have seen that movie. I really like that movie, yeah.
So there's the bit where
opinion.
the Colonel... The Colonel they're talking about merchandise, and he's showing them all the stuff he's got. Like, I love Elvis pins, and I've got I hate Elvis pins. They're like, why have you got I hate Elvis pins? He goes, if people are buying them, we're making the money. If we're the ones making them.
Exactly.
I can't change the
Think
fact that
about
people
it.
hate Elvis, but I might as well be the guy that's selling it.
That's it. That's what he said. Yeah, exactly. So exactly that. If you can make a buck out of it and you're clever, that's what you're doing.
Although to be fair, like, if you know anything about Elvis, like Colonel Tom is not the greatest role model to follow. But
No, that movie really revealed how sleazy he was. Yeah, and again, that was a brilliant movie.
Oh, listen, a bit of an Elvis and a Michael Jackson. I mean, I've got me Michael Jackson. You can't see. I've got me Michael Jackson Funkos down there. Elvis is up there somewhere. They're my guys. So I can't wait for the Michael film. And Elvis was. I mean, honestly, Elvis. I went through with my mum, and there was just moments in that cinema watching it with my mum where I'm looking at Austin Butler and going, "Fucking hell, that's Elvis."
I became an Elvis convert because of that film. Like, my dad has always been one of the biggest Elvis fans. Like, he loves anything like 50s rockabilly, and he's a proper Elvis fan as well. And you know, I've always like, I've bought him Elvis stuff, and whatever it might be. But like, I think Father's Day took him to see the Elvis film. I think I think it was Father's Day roughly when it came out. Took him to see the Elvis film through Father's Day, and like through watching that film, I was just like, okay, I get it. And then since then, went with him to an Elvis tribute that was down at my local theatre, where they had 3 of the best Elvis tribute acts from across the world, and doing like different eras of Elvis. So there was like 50s Elvis with the pink suit. Then there was the 1970s comeback special Elvis in the leather, and then Vegas era Elvis, which I'm willing to die on this hill, the worst Elvis.
Well, we weren't doing great at that point.
No. I always hate that any Elvis tribute act that they always do Vegas Elvis. Like, it's the worst Elvis.
But it's because it's only now because the people that are old enough, like, that have been fans of him for that long, and now at the age that he was, so they look like that version of Elvis. They can't do the young 20-year-old Elvis anymore because they're in their 50s.
Yeah, give me the comeback special Elvis. That's my Elvis right there. But again, I'm a recent Elvis convert because of that film.
Yeah, you wait till Michael Jackson one comes out, mate. I'm telling you now, Jafar Jackson's going to smash that out of the park.
Oh, yes.
So, with your clothing brand, that JC, is it all England flags in procurers?
No. So, this is the part I want to touch on, where, like I say, it did not start off political at all. I mean, I guess, again, people can interpret it however they want, but originally what I wanted to do was take street art and turn it into streetwear, which I know people have done before, but again, if there's a niche and a market for it, I just wanted to also just, I guess, throw my hat in the ring and give it a go. And as you say, like, it's something, again, passionate about. If it can make me some money, why not? Again, everyone's got a side hustle these days, so it was just something that I wanted to do. No, the original, I wish I actually had it now. It's probably in the wash somewhere because I've been wearing it so often. And you'll see it on the logo. I'll send you a link so you can put it in the description as well. So the brand is called Graffiti WASHED, where basically I took the word washed and I turned it into this really cool graffiti style design, and it was to basically turn that word into street art and take the street art and turn it into streetwear, because the whole point of it is kind of what street art stands for, which is freedom of expression. And I feel like, again, in a day and age where there is so much of it, but then they're also trying to snuff it out, and again there's the double-edged sword of you can either express yourself a lot, but then also you can get told no, you're not supposed to express yourself in a certain way. I think, as you rightly said earlier, you know, when you go out on holiday and you're wearing your wrestling top and someone goes, oh, wrestling, I kind of want something similar with my brand, where someone goes, oh, that looks cool, and what does that stand for? And it actually kind of started in a really funny way, where basically at work there was this joke going around of, oh, this is washed, that's washed, taking the piss out of something. So then I was basically like, oh, I'm going to use that and take the piss out of basically everything, right? But not in an offensive way, again, in a way that's just a bit charming, a bit funny. Then it slowly turned into, because at first my main designs were just the word with different questions on, saying is, like, I've got one actually that I need to upload soon, but it's like it says the word washed and it's like a texture of a brain. It says, are we brainwashed? And I just think that's funny, because something like that, it's like a silly like dad joke sort of thing.
Yeah.
But then afterwards I started dabbling more into logos and actual just design. So as I say, I made this one where it's the washing machine with the flag, and as I say, this could mean anything. You could wear this during the World Cup if England are winning or losing, because if they're winning, you're going to say, hey, I'm wearing this because I'm going to wash my flag, because I'm going to hang it because England are winning the World Cup. If they're losing, you can wear it and say, oh, England's losing, they're washed. Do you know what I mean? But then the flag fiasco happened. The flag fiasco happened, and now people can interpret this as, oh, is he saying we all need to wash our flags and hang them up? Or, and to be fair, I did make a TikTok where I basically said in this TikTok, if you're not allowed to hang your flag because obviously they're taking them down, just wear the flag, wear the shirt. And again, I'm not trying to incite any sort of, you need to believe this, or any rights or anything. Again, I'm just selling a t-shirt. It just happens to have this design on it. But yeah, no, the idea was just taking a word, turning it into a funny question, using street art as a form of art, which again is a form of expression, to create something that, again, I think people can wear and enjoy. So on the back of the shirt, it does say, is England washed? Which, again, I think you can take that as however you want to mean it. Like I say, if we're losing the Euros or the World Cup, someone might sit there and go, oh man, we're losing, England's washed. And then I'll go, oh, funny, my shirt says that. Do you know what I mean? Like, or again, if you really want to lean into that other side of it, you can see it the way, with all the drama that's going on, you could see it that way. But again, I'm not here to advocate for either. Like I say, I'm just trying to sell a shirt. Like, I just thought the design was funny. But yeah, I only started it a month ago. I thought it was something else I wanted to sort of dip my toe in, because again, as much as I love the whole gaming thing, and the idea is I want it all to feed back into the gaming thing, but at the minute, YouTube and Twitch, with the whole game, again, I enjoy it, but there's only so much of it I can keep doing. The idea is I want to just try and make enough money that I can then expand and then work more on the things I'm passionate about. So yeah, that was basically the idea of it.
Oh, I love the idea, and like you say, sometimes a happy, what's the word there? Like a happy accident.
Happy
That's
accident,
it, like, something like, yeah, like where you didn't mean to, but if it gets your branding noticed because people will start buying that t-shirt, cool. They'll see what other stuff you do. It's not they're not going to look at it and go, well, everything's political, everything's that. They're like, look, just see the fun side of it. You've just described it that as exactly what it is. See the fun side. See it how you want to see it. It's your t-shirt. This is a Beetlejuice t-shirt, but is this saying I like Beetlejuice, or is this me saying, well, I prefer Beetlejuice, rather than Beetlejuice? No, it's just a fucking Beetlejuice t-shirt that I'm wearing because I like Beetlejuice. I said his name 3 times. I'm a little bit nervous at the moment.
Yeah, no, like everything in life is always up for interpretation. I always see it as like, imagine something in the middle of a room. You can stand at any corner of that room and it will look different depending on what side you're facing. So everything's always up for interpretation. Even with gaming, some things in gaming get seen political. I actually made this joke the other day on stream. I was playing Watch Dogs Legion and I said, "Oh, isn't it funny? Watch Dogs Legion came out 5 years ago. during COVID, but it's very much about London being oppressed. And now someone could play Watch Dogs Legion in 2025, and with all the drama going on, sit there and go, "Did Ubisoft make Watch Dogs? Yeah, did Ubisoft predict the future? Did they make Watch Dogs Legion because they knew the UK was gonna?" No, they made a video game. And you can interpret that video game however you want, but the main point of it is they made a video game.
That's the thing with art in general and expression in general. Is like there's the message that the artist and creator intended, but any interpretation is valid.
Yeah,
like If you see something in that, you're right. Like, even if it's not what the artist originally intended.
When COVID happened, I definitely thought that was Resident Evil had been a prelim to what we was about to experience.
See, again, that's another thing. Last of Us 2 came out during COVID. Is that Neil Druckmann trying to say that we're all eventually going to hit a zombie apocalypse? No, he wanted to make a zombie game. He made a zombie game. People think whatever they want to think of it. But yeah, again, that's the thing with art. Art is subjective, so you can look at it, like I say, you can look at it from any angle in the room. You might see the same thing, you might see something different.
Technically, we didn't have a pandemic where everyone turned into brain-eating zombies, but as we
we didn't.
I don't know.
Most people have stayed at home and basically become zombies at home.
Although I don't know if you.
I do remember a distinct lack of brains.
No, but it's actually crazy. If you actually Google what 2020 was or what the COVID pandemic was, it almost makes it kind of sound like we were heading towards a zombie apocalypse. It sounds so much more dramatic than what it actually was. So, but yeah.
It was just a way. So they go, right, shut everything down for a year, and then when we come back, we're going to make everything more expensive. You watch, they've all had it so easy for a year. They reckon it was horrible. But when it comes back, we're going to make it even worse than it was. Because, hey, you're getting taxed on that chocolate bar. Hey, you're going to get taxed on that chocolate bar. If you're, hey, listen, you're going across the Dartford Bridge, it's £2. Fuck off, I'm going to make it a £5.
Yeah, yeah.
They're upping. Now, my mum always points this out, and I always say she loves a lecture, my mum, but she always that bridge, there was only ever meant to be a toll at Dartford while they paid off the bridge that was built.
It paid for itself years ago, didn't it?
Exactly, and everyone's so used to it, they've gone, fuck it, let's not only keep charging them, let's keep putting it up.
Yeah.
Let's make it more expensive. You watch me go around start going around the long way of the fucking M25 from now on.
See, and
I'd rather use the diesel and pay their money.
The most important thing is we're not political.
No, we're not. But at the same time, we're allowed to have our opinions. And again, this is where I feel like my brand has now kind of shifted, kind of politically, because there's a lot going on now that I think either people are afraid to talk about, or some people have just shut off. They don't want to talk about it. And I feel like there is a definite suppression of opinion. Like one of my designs of my brand, I made one called "Is the Internet Washed?" And the reason why I'm asking that question... Yeah, well, I think we all can. And to be fair, anyone who leaves a negative comment on this video is answering the question for me. But I made a design called "Is the Internet Washed?" because I was actually quite triggered by this new Online Safety Act thing that they're trying to do. Because they say it's for one thing, but then immediately you start noticing other things happening. And this is, again, like, not to get too political, but you can't not talk about these things, especially when they could directly affect what we're trying to do. So obviously, linking it all the way back to what we said at the start of the pod, which is about taking your passions, turning it into something you can do online, and making content from it. So they bring out this Safety Act. They say it's to stop kids seeing the wrong content online. But I'm sure we're all old enough and have been around a long time to know that kids found that thing would find that content anyway. And that also depends on the parenting.
Even before the internet, kids would find a way.
Exactly. And I'll link back to that in a second. I've still got
magazines in my mum's loft.
Exactly.
They're still hidden up in my mum's loft from 1999, all right? There's still magazines. We used to hang around the back of shops waiting for them to throw out the mags.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to make sure your mum watches this episode now. Ryan S., you've been keeping...
Right, and this is exactly my point. So
carry on that conversation while I message Kurt's missus about the babies.
No, and this is exactly my point. So what you guys rightly said, where was the Magazine Safety Act years ago to stop kids from hanging around the back of shops picking up those magazines? Now they bring out this.
Do you know what they did?
Well, what did they do?
Do you know what they did? They used to put them on the top shelf.
Kids can reach them.
See?
That was a safety.
See?
So when we used to walk in, and it was like, because you're a kid, you're not allowed to look. Like, we'd never look.
Exactly. But it's like this is the point I'm trying to make, is see, like they bring this stuff out now. They say, okay, we want to introduce this new act, right, to stop kids from watching explicit content. I won't say the word because I know the word can get you demonetized. But yeah, we want to stop kids from seeing this content, right? We're now going to make it so all these websites you have to verify your ID. Okay. Meanwhile, what's also happening is that videos where people talk about the state of the UK or the state of their country, if people even complain about taxes, crime, things like that, those videos are either getting taken down, demonetized, people being told not to talk about certain things.
But there you go. You're safe already then, because we've already talked about that.
Yeah,
we're demonetized already.
Yeah. So, but this is what I mean. Like, and this is where my brand comes into it, because again, I feel like there's this freedom of expression. As much as they try not to make it look like it's being suppressed, they're trying to suppress it, because even just the idea of you need to upload your ID online, that's already kind of an invasion of privacy. And I'm not being funny, the internet isn't always entirely safe. If you upload your driver's license and then get to just to watch content, I'm not saying I ever would, no, that's, but
yeah.
And but then suddenly you get hacked, someone could have your driver's license.
Yeah.
That's like, all like, jokes aside, like I think I said it on here before, like you could sense when that happened, when they put bans on these websites, every red-blooded male was feeling it straight away. Like,
yeah.
Just in the chat. I did I tell this story, Kurt, when I was at work, and I was DJing, I was having a great laugh, and
I don't think you've told it on here, but you have told it on off-air chats.
I was DJing, I'm getting people talking. I was at the Garrison in Chelsea, and I'm getting like interacting with people doing stuff, and I was in like a wrestling mood, so I was doing little quotes from wrestling, and one of them is Cody Rhodes' quote, which is, "What do you guys want to talk about?" And I stood there and I did this.
I beg of you, by the way, before you say the punchline, think about how much you might want to censor this.
Yes. Yeah, you might have to guess what the word is. So yeah, guess. So I was sitting there. I grabbed the microphone, I turned the volume down, and said, "So, what do you guys want to talk about?" And within like not even a split second, this geezer appeared up on the DJ booth, and he went, "Hub, I can't get on it no more." So he said the two words, "Hub, I can't get on it no more." And I'm taken back because I was like, fuck me, you can tell that's definitely on your mind, because I said that and you instantly replied. Like, there's 400 people in this venue.
You had that one in the chamber.
You were waiting for me to say it because you wanted me to talk about it. You were having a problem. This guy literally said it, "Hub, I can't get on it no more." And I was like, "Don't worry, guys, we're all going through it." But it's suppressing people. And I saw something today, and we'll start wrapping up soon because we're going to end up going right down the political route. But I saw something today, like Dapper. Do you know Dapper Laughs is? Yeah, both of yous.
No, actually.
He was one of the first ever. You know, when like people like Jack Jones and Aaron Kraskell were out doing these Vine videos, and they went viral.
Oh, okay.
Dapper Laughs was one of the first. Daniel O'Reilly. He done it, and he's had controversial moments over the time, but he's always been quite funny. But he's always been very vocal in his points about what he thinks is wrong with the country and stuff like that. He was saying today that they're now trying to censor comedians from talking about political stuff, and it's like, so
need I say any more? This is it's exactly that. Whenever they do something like you said earlier, what was lockdown? What was COVID? We're going to put you all in your house. We're going to raise the price of everything. Then we're going to let you out, and then you can go back to spending what little money you have on everything that's now hyperinflated.
I mean, to be fair, over censorship has been a thing for a while anyway. Because I mean, like I say, I understand why some of these rules get brought in the first place, because protecting protecting kids from having stuff that can be harmful actively being promoted to them. However, I feel like it becomes a blanket rule and it becomes a knee-jerk. And let's be honest, talking about being on socials and being on YouTube and stuff like that, there is a reason why the phrase unalive has become a common part of the lexicon nowadays. Because you get your video demonetized and possibly even taken down just for saying the K word or the D word.
Yeah, yeah.
And some people are D words for doing that.
And you know what? You hit the nail on. You've hit the nail on the head several times on this podcast, because there'll be a word or a phrase that you say, and I'm thinking that word. The word you used, blanket. I understand that whenever they try and do one of these things, there's always that blanket of good behind it. But you've got to realise that we talk about double-edged swords all the time. Everything has pros and cons, yin and yang, positive, negative. There's the good reason, which is, yes, as you rightly said, censorship has been a thing for a very long time, and people have very often... Like, I grew up in a Christian household. My mum never wanted me watching that sort of thing. I grew up in a household where I wasn't even allowed to play violent games, but I still managed to play GTA, you know, and it happens. But the thing is
kids
that
will find a way.
They will find a way. But the thing is that it's funny when they want to care about these things. Like I said earlier, you had the magazines. No one stopped them back then. But now, when the internet is so big as to what it is, now they suddenly say, we want to bring out this act to stop kids seeing this content. But at the same time, there's that level of corruption. And the level of corruption that I see is, again, people were being told, don't talk about this, don't show this, don't complain about your country, don't... Like, there's, again, a level of oppression being put in. Like I say, they will always tell you the good reason. They will always say, oh, but we're doing it to protect the kids. But what does protecting the kids from explicit content have to do with the fact that if I talk about how I'm not happy in my neighbourhood because there's knife crime, what does that have to do with kids seeing, you know, this and a bit of that? And because they're going to see that anyway. They'll find a way. But I'm talking about something that genuinely matters to me, because where I live matters to me. I'm passionate about where I live because it's the place I have to sleep in. It's the place I have to go to do my food shopping. And then if I make a video saying, oh, this just happened, like this crime just happened, video gets taken down. And then I go, oh, but why's the video been taken down? Oh, Online Safety Act. Okay, well, what's the Online Safety Act? Stops kids watching naughty content online. Right, but again, what does that have to do with my video of knife crime? Like, do you see? And that's what, again, blanket.
What it does is it makes you go, so what, you're trying to tell us there isn't problems when we're trying to show the world that there is problems? Why?
Exactly.
That you can't, like, because we can now report the news.
Yeah.
As such.
Yeah.
Everyone has a news. Everyone has everything in this. There's a camera. There's a calculator. There is everything you need to report. You can be a film director with this. They literally, is it 28 years later, they filmed on an iPhone. You can literally direct an entire film from one of these, or you can report the news. You can see what's going on. And yeah, I mean, I don't think we've ever been this political, but it's
I'm
hard.
I'm sorry. I know you must have thought, oh, we're going to get this guy on. He's going to talk a bit more
He'll
about
do
it.
anything to sell a fucking t-shirt.
No, to be fair, I do want to talk more about the gaming thing, but yeah, no, to link it to the brand, yeah, again, like I say, I didn't mean for it to...
It is... No, but this is what happens. This is, you can't help a conversation because we're all thinking about things. I mean, I do everything. I've always been one, like, I can't sit and watch the news because it's never... I'd rather watch... Let me think of something really depressing that I like watching on, though.
The news?
the new Marvel phase. But like, I'd rather watch something.
On that.
I could sit here and watch a film where you're watching, for example, Infinity War, where half of the world gets wiped out, and that's more fun than what's actually going on in the world.
Yeah.
You can literally watch something where, like, you know, basically this bad guy's going to take out everybody you know and love, and leave a few handful of people that, you know, to deal with things. Cool, that's quite fun to watch, to be honest, rather than going over and looking at the news and going, oh, right.
Yeah, that's more fun to do. Yeah, exactly. That's more fun to do than literally go down to Asda to get your bread, milk and cheese. Meanwhile, a couple of dodgy kids with hoodies and knives are walking around. And again, if you make a video about it, I hope you weren't planning on making any money on that video because you can't talk about it, but you don't want kids to watch naughty stuff online, do you? blanket.
Again, there's been this, like, one of the cringiest things I find is certain people online that they're getting over on TikTok or social media for being pricks, and it's making that because people
I
are
know what
watching
you're.
it.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just,
wait.
come on, stop reacting. It's just a prank. Like, no, you're being an actual dick. Like,
Yeah, the
People like
going
these
to other
videos that we
countries.
going into a place of work pretending you don't work there, or just, oh look, I got
Yeah.
backstage at McDonald's and stuff like that. Like, what you're doing is you're making people nervous to go to work by doing
Yeah.
that content. It's like, especially in places like McDonald's, because it's likely to happen because people think they can take the piss out of it because it's McDonald's.
Yeah.
I had to have a go at some kids in McDonald's last week because they were just getting on all. I was just like, kid, pipe it down. You're in just let people eat their cheeseburger, for fuck's sake. This is what it's meant to be.
And I'm not
You've
being
got-
funny. Those kids will probably. I'm not being funny. Those kids will probably end up working at that McDonald's. So they wouldn't like
mean,
it when it's done to them.
And let's face it, I mean, working at McDonald's isn't the worst thing in the world because you're earning money.
No, I used to do it. I used to do it.
You-
First
you
4 years.
Exactly.
Of,
Exactly. You're, if anything, you're giving them upbreakers, but them kids look like they weren't going to be working anywhere other than fucking doing a job in prison. Cooking
Yeah.
in prison and stuff like that. Because, yeah, it's become a fucked up thing, right? Should we talk a little bit more gaming before we do wrap things up, before I start crying about life?
yeah. No.
All right,
as
okay.
I say, I didn't mean to make things get too political.
No,
but
don't,
yeah,
no,
the
don't be.
whole-
No. But let's end. Let's one subject to lighten things up before we wrap things up.
Yeah.
So,
To be fair, I'd
question
love
is,
to
to
be
talk
on
about
another
gaming.
episode and we can talk more about other things. But this is the thing. The reason why I want to do more podcasts is because I feel like I've reached a point where I've got so much I want to say on so many different subjects. And obviously, my main thing has been gaming, but when I'm sitting there streaming on Twitch playing a game and I want to talk about the current state of affairs, everyone's like, shut up JC, just play the game. Whereas, and now I want to get more into the realm of doing podcasts because I like, again, meeting like-minded people like yourselves. And again, I think that it's really good if we can, again, grab some mics and just have a civilized conversation and all share our different views of the world. And again, in that sense, is that not an art in itself? Because again, we're all looking at something in a different way, and that can be interpreted again in different ways, and that in itself is quite artistic. But yeah, going back to gaming, so obviously I'm guessing you want to ask me a question about the gaming channel that I just literally mentioned.
Yeah, you've obviously. Yeah, let's go talk a bit about obviously because it's not just you, is it? It's called
No.
2.5 Games. Is it? Have you got half a person with you? Is that why it's called 2.5? What is this like? You're again, like, this started with my group of friends. Is this where it started? You and your group of friends went, hey, listen, why don't we press record and do some stuff on this? Is that what
Exactly
made you guys
that. Exactly that. So it's quite a long-winded backstory, but I'll try and summarize it as quick as I can because we do need to wrap things up. But what happened was basically in 2019, I was meant to go to Comic-Con with two of my friends. And this is actually really funny. So the whole time they were hyping me up, going, yeah, JC, yeah, we're coming Comic-Con with you, yeah. They never once bought their tickets. So on the day of Comic-Con, I was there in my costume. I'm messaging these guys, where are you? What's going on? I'm at the train station. What's going on? They didn't come. They said, no, man, we never even bought our tickets. I was like, are you joking me? So what happened was I was like, screw it. I've paid the money now. I've got the costume. I'm going. So I went, and when I got to the train station, I was dressed up as Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and this is where I then met Harry and Aaron, who I run 2.5 Gamers with. Oh, well, now 2.5 Gamers UK. I'll explain why we added the UK part at the end. And Harry was dressed as Venom, Aaron was dressed as Tom Holland Spider-Man, and I just went over to him and I was just like, hey, look, like we could all do a Spider-Verse thing. And they were like, yeah, man, yeah. And then they said, who are you with? And I said, oh, well, funnily enough, I was meant to be here with my friends, but they bailed on me. And they said, oh, well, you're welcome to join us if you want. I was like, okay, cool. We jumped on the train, and Harry's sitting there and he's rubbing his eyes and he's going, oh, geez, I'm tired. Why did we stay up all night playing Mega Man 2? And I was a bit like, sorry? Mega Man 2? The really old game? Do people still play old games? Like, what's going on here? And they were like, yeah, we were up all night playing Mega Man 2 on NES. And again, I have a massive appreciation for the classics. So instantly I'm like, oh, this is sick. Tell me more about this. And we started bantering and talking. And then so I spent all of Comic-Con with them and just had a really great time. And it was one of them friendships where I'm sure you've experienced it as well. You know when you meet someone and you've just met them, but you feel like you've known them for years. I'm sure we've all had that in life with our friends.
I mean, I feel, yeah, me and you meeting through that mutual radio station just because I happened to come in on a certain day to do a pre-record and just bonding over wrestling. I mean, right, you've got a tattoo on your hand that you share with someone else on our team based on a very quick bonding experience like that.
Yes, I've got the White Ranger coin from Power Rangers on here, and
Nice.
Laferde, how, like, again, it's one of the best stories that I was working in Malia, running a tattoo studio. A girl who worked out in Malia at another bar was walking down with two of her friends, one of them being Laferde, and as I'm talking to the guy I know, I look at him, he's got a Batman tattoo, and I'm like, dude, I got a Batman tattoo, that's cool. I look at his other arm, he's got a Joker tattoo. I just literally had this done. I'm like, oh, dude, that's cool. We've both got Batman and Joker tattoos. Then I look at his forearm, and he's got 6 original Power Ranger helmets going down his arm, and I'm like, dude, like, I shot him my Green Ranger tattoo on my leg. I'm like, this is really fucking weird now. I was like, this is unreal. Nice to meet you. I'm Ryan. He goes, I'm Ryan.
Who's now going to hate you, by the way, for using his real name on the pod. But...
Yeah. But that's like, instantly, we became brothers. Like, in that moment, literally 2 days later, we were like, we instantly swapped time. Like, mate, we got to be friends. Did we just become best friends? And 2 days later, we had this tattooed on our hand together, and it's become like, he's now part of this team. He's become one of my closest friends because we just bonded over that natural selection of, like, you are cool, you're a nerd. I actually think, I thought we met at Pride. The first Pride.
We did actually. So yeah, we both worked at the same radio station, but we'd never like intermixed before. And then our radio station was sponsoring Basildon Pride. So,
as we are this Saturday.
Yeah. By the time this episode goes out, if we're unlucky, it might have come and gone. But yeah. This Saturday, at the moment we record this, Saturday 6th of September, we are at Pride again because our radio station is once again sponsoring Pride. But I was supposed to be hosting it with my co-presenter at the time, who couldn't do it anymore. And the management were like, right, we still want there to be 2 presenters, so do you know what? We're going to get Ryan on it, because Ryan does DJing, Ryan's hosted events all the time, Ryan knows what he's doing, and you and Ryan can co-host it. And I'm like, cool, never met the guy. Like, you're really banking on us actually, you know, having a chemistry on stage when we're hosting here. Yeah, didn't need to worry about that in the slightest, because meeting the man 10 minutes before we were going on stage to introduce the first act, it's like... Just, you're a wrestling nerd? Cool, I'm a wrestling nerd.
By the end of the day, that first time, but we'd never met before, but by the end of the day, we were referring to ourselves as the Ant Deck of Basildon, because we just connected, and we've now done 4 of it. He's now part of this. Again, to be fair, like, other than, I mean, there's 2 people on this, there's like my nephew and my cousin, but like, most people that have been connected with this, it's all because just meeting because of love of something. So
yeah,
here's the thing then. Wrap this up, and we end on a gaming note. 3 questions, all right? And you've all got to think about this.
Go on, Deck.
Favorite gaming franchise that you've ever played? Favorite console, and hardest game you've ever played. I know all 3 of my answers. So
I've got 3 very quick.
Second.
I've got 3 very quick ones in the chamber. So,
yeah. Do you need a sec, JC, or do you want one of us to go?
I think. What was it again? So, favourite franchise,
favourite gaming franchise of all time, favourite console, hardest game you've ever played.
Okay, yeah, I've got mine.
Yeah. Okay.
Favourite franchise, I'd have to say Mario Kart. I literally have all of them, and even, yes, was dumb enough to spend 75 quid on the new one. But despite it having its issues, it's still a really good game. I still really enjoy it, and I've been a Mario Kart fan since I was literally really, really tiny. Favourite console, I'd have to say the DS. And when I say the original DS, not the 3DS, and all iterations as well, I find that the DS, I treated the DS like a phone. Every time they brought out a new revision, I wanted to upgrade. So I had the original one. I mean, I've still got it. I then got the Lite. I then got the I. And then eventually I did move over to 3DS. But I see the 3DS and the DS as different, because I think the DS... I think the DS was better than the 3DS, even though the 3DS was more powerful. Hardest game? I mean, I've played some pretty tough ones. I'd have to go Super Meat Boy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
may
I played
you
it,
may actually. I thought I had it with what was my hardest game going to be, but you may actually beat me on that. Like Super Meat Boy is like, I think if you consider that game to be your idea of like a good relaxing time, seek professional help.
Yeah.
Go on then, Kurt. What's your three?
Right. Favourite franchise? I've talked about this on the pod before, so I'll try and keep it brief. I spent the better part of an episode with Laferde unpacking this series. My favourite franchise of all time is and always will be the Mass Effect series. I am such a huge lover of those games. I will even back Andromeda. It's easily the weakest of the four, but I still love it as a game. I personally just love any gaming series where, firstly, there's an element of freedom to it. Like, you know, you could do multiple playthroughs and no playthrough is ever the same. And I also love those series where, like, your choices actually matter and you get a totally different ending or even impact the next game based on the choices that you made. And Mass Effect has all of that, plus some of the most compelling characters I've ever seen. And I actually get invested in those characters in that franchise, and I cannot wait for them to drop the, well, officially titled Mass Effect 4, but it's technically 5, which is hopefully coming very soon. And, you know, in relation to that, I love series like The Witcher and stuff like that as well. Anything that has that kind of similar way of storytelling and world building and choices mattering. But Mass Effect will always be my big one. Favourite console? I name dropped it earlier on whilst taking the piss out of it a little bit, but I'm actually going to die on this hill. I love, despite how long I've been a PlayStation man for, I've owned every PlayStation apart from the PS3, where I briefly dabbled over to Xbox for the 360. However, my favourite console is the Nintendo GameCube. I bloody loved my GameCube, and I'm willing to die on this hill as a wrestling fan. The GameCube had the 3 best wrestling games that I've ever played. Those being the 2 Day of Reckonings. And
I was going to say
WrestleMania
Day of
19.
Reckoning. Yeah, because I've got that.
But they had that arcadey style of gameplay that was brilliant. Honestly, if you're going to pick up one, pick up WrestleMania 19. The storyline on it is the most balmiest thing I've ever seen. But like, basically the entire storyline is like these multi-level backstage brawls, and like it is the most ridiculous storyline I've ever played, but so fun as well. So yeah, as much as I love the SmackDown versus Raws and all that, like Day of Reckoning and WrestleMania 19 are easily my favourite WrestleMania games ever. And hardest game series, I recently picked up Dark Souls for the first time, so I think I've got to give a tout to that.
Yeah, I ain't going anywhere near that.
Do you know what?
Is it that bad?
Weirdly, like I'm not going to say I'm good at it, and I've had multiple frustrations with it. And I'm a guy who's usually playing on easy mode on most games. And I actively avoid competitive games for that exact reason, because I know I'm nowhere near good enough. But my brain just kind of clicks with Dark Souls. And I maintain, like, it's not hard, but what it is unforgiving. Like, you will be punished for your mistakes. But, like, if you are patient and if you make the effort to be tactical with the way you play, and I think that's kind of what I like with it, you will get on with it better than you think you will. But if you try and do hack and slash like you're playing a God of War game, you are going to have a very bad time.
Yeah, okay.
Ryan.
To the old man. I like my Atari. Pong was the first game I ever played. No, so favourite gaming franchise, it's something I've covered many, many times, is and always will be Resident Evil. I have been there since day dot with Resident Evil.
You guys need to get Harry on this podcast. Resident Evil and wrestling, he can talk about for days. So
yeah. Resident Evil, I've had it, like, again, I've played it since day dot. Them games, I've spent hours, because again, it's not just the scary element of it, and fuck me, was it number 7 that was like,
oh my god,
shit my pants out over that. I spent a lot of the game like that, playing like that. Like,
play it in VR, mate, if you haven't done before.
I was just about to say.
No. But like, it's also, again, because there's been stuff in that, like there was puzzles and stuff, and I'm so into it. I've followed that story. I know every story. I've played every version of the games, and Resident Evil's just that one. And my favourite console, and I think if we all thought about it, my favourite console is the PS1, because to me, games like, I mean, even though I was there for the Mega Drive and stuff like that, PS1's games like, when that came out, they had Tekken, which was like the new Mortal Kombat, the new Street Fighter. That Tekken went out. Resident Evil, there we go. Destruction Derby, GTA came out on it. So many gaming franchises that I lived in. And there was a game called Abe's Odyssey. If you've never heard of it, never played it.
Oddworld, yes.
Oddworld Abe, yeah.
Oddworld. Abe's Odyssey is a little farting green alien. Oh my god, it's one of the best things I've ever spent hours, and I've spent hours and hours on that, just walking around farting.
And you went through that entire list without name dropping. Oh, I don't know, little something called Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, like reinvented platform games.
That's what I'm saying. So many games come from it, but I think I guarantee, if you look at all of our consoles, they were all the consoles we would have had around the age of 10.
Admittedly,
our favourite consoles.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's where you get to that age of, like, you've been out, you've played, you've explored, but you start realising, hang on, I can stay at home and have a bit of a laugh here. Like everyone did in 2020. But
yeah,
your favourite console will be that 10, because that's where you find your love. You find will find these gaming franchises that you will then spend years playing. Mario Kart. What was yours, Kurt?
So mine was the Day of Reckoning WrestleMania series, but like I still buy every wrestling game every year.
Yeah, exactly.
And Mass Effect, I will never not pick one up. I have logged, and I think I've mentioned this before, but I've got to mention it. I have logged, just on my PS5 playing the remastered trilogy of Mass Effect, I have logged over 500 hours on that sumbitch, and that's not counting. That is not counting the original playthrough from my Xbox 360.
Fucking hell. I probably have got that on GTA. I've 100% GTA 5 on 2 different consoles, 3 maybe. But anyway, so what I'm saying is, like, I think that's why I wanted to know about favourite console, because it will show you, everyone will choose that console that when they were around 10. There's been better consoles. We've all had better consoles since then. But it's something that holds on to you when you're 10, when you first start gaming with your mates properly, or your DS, you could take it to your mates, you could link up. This DS one was where you could infrared, wasn't it? Was it that DS?
Yeah. So with the DS, you either everyone could have a copy of the game and you could all play, or only one person could have a copy of the game and you could still all play. It's funny you mentioned that, because my fondest memories with the DS, like I say, I think the DS is better than the 3DS, but it's only because my fondest memories with the DS was going into school, popping in Mario Kart, and even if I was the only person who had Mario Kart DS, I could still stream it to 7 other people and we'd all sit there and play. And it was always just a great laugh.
That's what I mean. It shows you that, everyone loves a bit of gaming. It shows you where you come from. Like I said, 10 years old is where you find that gaming and what is going to be your gaming life, where you are. Obviously, we're now at an hour and 36. We've done a great episode, boys. I've really enjoyed it.
I've really enjoyed it, I've got to say, yeah.
It's been gaming. It's been political. JC, we'll get you back. We'll get you.
I was going to say, please, because I feel like we only just scratched the surface. Obviously, I was talking about more recent things, but I do want to delve more into, again, the origin of the gaming channel. I would love, actually, I'll tell you what, next time I'll see if I can even get the other two to jump on, Harry and Aaron.
Yeah.
And
we'll try and get our gaming.
Yeah, we'll try and get our gaming guys on. Like we've just covered it really well.
We've really only scratched the surface.
Like
I wanted to delve deeper into more about why it's called 2.5 Gamers, why we then added the UK, because I only explained the brief origin, but again, there's so much we can talk about and so little time to do it in. But definitely, I'd be well up for coming back on here again.
100%. So before we do that, then before we finish it and end it off, let everybody know where they can find you. Obviously, give them a ring. Obviously, we'll add your link to your Etsy. Is it Etsy shop you said?
Yeah, so I've started by selling on Etsy. The only reason being is because Etsy's kind of like the Instagram for selling handmade or made-to-order products. Whereas if I was to launch my own website, it would have been harder. But where people can find me, so I've got my Instagram, which is literally just JC 2_ and then De Silva. The gaming channel is obviously 2.5 Gamers UK, but an easier way to find that is if you go on the Insta, there'll be a link there. Those are really the only two I promote. I do have a Twitter, but I don't use it, so I'm not gonna bother promoting that. And then as for the Etsy store, literally Etsy /shop/Graffiti Washed. The washed is all in capitals. But again, I'll send the links over to you before I go to bed, and then
they'll be down below.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Kurt, give us an ever so brief rundown of why people should join our Patreon.
So, yes, Talks with Dogs, we are on Patreon nowadays, so not only are we putting exclusive content on there, including, well, quite frankly, pretty much everything Laferde ever records, but you'll love this, but also it is where you can catch the full version of our wrestling show that we put on the 31st of May, plus it will be where the fully edited commentary, all the bells and whistles version of the show that is going out on the 26th of October, back in time. Speaking of which, by the way, speaking of links, follow the link for the Eventbrite to get your tickets for Back in Time as well. But yeah, so you'll have everything wrestling related on there in terms of our shows, loads of exclusive content as well. You really help us out as well because we want to make this channel bigger and better, and especially on the wrestling side of things, we want to put on bigger and better shows as well. There's going to be some new content dropping on there very soon, actually, fun enough, at the moment this video goes out. But as well as all that, talking of socials, talking of the wrestling side as well, TDW is the name of our wrestling company. It has its own dedicated and designated YouTube channel. Just search Talk Dork Wrestling and we will pop up on there as well, where you can see little snippets of that show just to entice you to give us a go on the Patreon. And also some behind the scenes bits and bobs as well are all up there on top of that. And speaking of that Patreon, you can subscribe to us at the £2 tier, or if you fancy just going on just to watch the wrestling, each of those shows is available as a standalone purchase, if that's all you want, if you don't quite fancy paying the monthly.
There you go. Out of breath?
Yeah.
I thought you might be. Our social media is at Talk Podcast on everything. I didn't say at the beginning. If you are looking and you see down there that it says the word subscribe, not subscribed, then you need to press that subscribe button. Do that at Talk Podcast on TikTok, X, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. That's pretty much all of them. And don't forget, if you want to get yourself a card, if you're a card collector and you want to get your cards graded, we always tell you where to go. treefroggrading.com. Use the code TWD15 for 15% off. And I should never tell this secret, but I don't think they're listening on this episode. If they've already got a promotion going on where if it's like buy a bundle and you get this, and you add our code, you also get more money off. He who dares wins. Yeah. This is Talk to Dorks. That's Kurt. I'm Ryan. That was our guest, JC DA SILVA from 2.5 Gamers, and the man that promises he's not political.
I'm just trying to play video games and sell t-shirts.